Hey, what's up? This is Tucker from Throne of Iron, and you are watching Metal DNA. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Throne of Iron? So, I started the band originally as a solo project in the summer of 2018. I got really, really fucking drunk helping Corwin, who's now our other guitar player, move into his apartment at the time. And I was just listening to a bunch of like Accept and Wasp and stuff. And I went home and I got more drunk, and then I recorded the 3 songs for our 2018 demo. About 10 days after that, I got a message from No Remorse Records about them wanting to put out a full length. So of course I said yes, but then I realized then that I had to put together a full band. So I got Corwin and I got Jacob, the drummer for my old band, to play drums. And here we are. How did you come up with the name Throne of Iron? Is it inspired from Game of Thrones? I've actually never seen Game of Thrones. I haven't watched it. I haven't read the books. The name Throne of Iron came from when I was sitting on my weight bench one day, and I was reading about the Old Norse phenomenon of kenning, where they would come up with just different names for things to fit into poetic meter, and Throne of Iron was just like my kenning that I came up with for a weight bench. My musical inspirations for this specific band are, definitely Accept and Wasp, Yngwie Malmsteen, 100%. Manila Road is the big one. Manila Road was the catalyst because I decided to start the band not too long after Mark Shelton passed. How was the experience of playing your first gig? So our first gig was actually a big sold out thing for a local promoter. And by that time, the demo had been out for, I think, 6 or 7 months. So the hype was very, very real. Like, everybody in the scene in the area knew about us, and they knew all the words to the songs that we had out. And there were people in the front row singing along. It was insane. Yeah, our first show is the best one that I could have ever asked for in any band. What is the best gig you have played and why? Honestly, our first one was just completely insane, like I said in the last question. But if I had to pick another one that was also really, really cool, I would probably say when we played at Rapid Fire Fest in Charlotte, North Carolina. It had all the ingredients of a terrible show. Corwin got really, really sick, so we were just planning on playing that whole fest as a 3-piece. But what ended up happening was that other guitar players from the other bands all volunteered to learn a song or two apiece. And we just had them cycling out throughout the set. So like the first song would be one guitar player, and then after that he would unplug and pass the cable off to another guitar player. And that was just our way of like getting through the set and having it sound right and having all the harmonies and stuff. And it's a very big, it was a very awesome symbolic gesture of this community around, and the whole like new wave of traditional heavy metal, whatever you want to call it, community just coming together to support, their buds. What place is on your bucket list to play at? So we were supposed to play in Athens, Greece for Up the Hammers Festival back in March of 2020, but then the pandemic hit, so that kind of completely nuked that. I really would like to go somewhere in Europe. I think Keep It True Fest looks awesome, along with obviously Up the Hammers Festival, should that be an option for us again. Yeah, anywhere there. I'd really like to play in Japan. I think Japan would be sick. I know that Japan has a pretty cool metal scene. Where do you get inspiration for your sword and sorcery imagery? So a lot of the inspiration for our imagery comes directly from late 70s, early 80s role-playing manuals like Dungeons and Dragons, of the more modern contemporary ones like Old School Essentials, Labyrinth Lore, Dungeon Crawl Classics, because the whole premise of the band is that it's founded around people who play tabletop role-playing games, and there's a certain spirit and kind of a naivete that's wrapped up in those early 80s, late 70s illustrations. They're so open-ended because you can self-insert in any of them, and I really liked that. And I think that a big reason for why that is and why I latched onto that is because I got into role-playing and heavy metal around the same time, so it all just kind of cross-pollinated in my teenage brain. What are your views on the current music industry? I think that the internet has completely turned the music industry on its head. There's no better time for bands to be independent and not have a label. But I do think that labels still have a very important place in the music industry. Like, for instance, all of our full lengths come out on No Remorse Records, and there's a certain quality that people expect from No Remorse Records. So they'll know that if No Remorse has put out releases that they've liked in the past, if they put out something else, that there's a very good chance that they'll also enjoy that. You have tastemaker labels like them that aren't quite on the same huge groundbreaking level like Metal Blade or Century Media or anything like that. But I think that those tastemaker labels are incredibly important to the genre as a whole, and cultivating new music and cultivating new communities and ideas within this music. Throne of Iron has been a successful band since it started 2 years ago and also signed to No Remorse. What advice would you like to give to new bands? So my advice to new bands is to come up with zero in on what makes your band unique. Zero in on what makes your band your band. Like, is it the people in it? Is it what you're writing songs about? Is it your imagery? Is it your stage show? You need to find that, zero in on it, and don't neglect social media. I know that it's annoying to have to be on Facebook all day, but what I'm saying is that you don't have to be on Facebook all day. As long as you just post something every day, like just something, like shout out another band you like, shout out your friend's band, fucking post another big band's new music or some like metal news thing that's happening and you're like 2 cents on it, and ask your audience. You need to engage your audience and get them to be talking to you and about you all the time. The other big thing is that somebody in your band needs to invest in the means to record demos at home, especially right now during these weird pandemic times. The ability to be able to record music yourself has been so integral to a lot of bands that I know, as well as ours. Our band started out of home recording. Like, I recorded the first demo myself in my old living room. Every release that we've put out has been self-engineered, self-recorded, self-mixed, self-produced, all that stuff. The only other outside person we've had was the lovely and talented Bart Gabriel mastered our full-length on No Remorse Adventure 1. Any last words you would like to add or message you'd like to convey to your fans? As far as a message I want to convey to everybody watching this, keep strong, because we're going to get through this, and shows are going to start happening again, and we are thrilled to have the opportunity to get out and see you again. Check out our album. We have an album out on No Remorse Records called Adventure 1, and we're pretty proud of it. We should have some more new tunes coming out as well. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us on Bandcamp to stay up to date on new merch. We're dropping new merch all the time. We're kind of maniacs about it. Yep. So thanks for watching.